You are Locked On Astros Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Houston on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Oh, Canada, your baseball team stinks. Oh, Canada, the Astros. I got nothing for it at that point. That's the first and only time you're ever going to hear me sing on this Locked On Astros postcast. Welcome this afternoon. Thank you for joining me as you either get home, head home, whatever it is that you're going to do today as you've celebrated the Astros spoiling Canada Day. Those darn Canadians, they just can't have anything nice, can they? In Houston, Texas, we sure can. We have a baseball team, people, that is 2 games over 500. Can you believe it? I know. It was hard to believe that this baseball team that was at one point 12 games under the 500 mark now has built a slight little cushion over that 500 mark on the season. It is so nice to be back, right? And they are on their way back. And good news, they pick up a half game in the American League West today because, well, the Mariners aren't playing. So you love to see that for the Astros as well. They are 3 games out of the division race, sitting there at this very moment. Today's show, by the way, is brought to you by Tax Network USA. Did you know that it's never too late to resolve your tax issues with the IRS? Don't wait. Reduce your tax debt and get help from a team of licensed professionals. Call 1-800-549-1000 or visit tnusa.com/locked-on. So what a good day for the Astros. Hunter Brown again today. Brilliant for the ball club. What he has meant to this team has been unbelievable. I mean, really, other than in what inning was that? The 3rd or the 4th inning where he got into a spot, with the bases loaded. It is what it is. Those things will happen occasionally, but he pitched out of it. And his 2-seam fastball again today, exceptional. His location today, exceptional. His curveball worked well. He has, honestly, is Hunter Brown the staff ace at this moment? Is he their best pitcher? He's now 6-5. This is a guy that had an ERA, I think it was close to 9 at one point this season. He's down to 4.07, 17 starts in, 94 strikeouts. He didn't have a lot of strikeouts today. He struck out the side in his last inning, but he ended up with 5. Had those 3 walks, but that was it. It's either Hunter Brown or it's Ronel Blanco. That's the staff ace at this moment. And based off the way that Hunter Brown has pitched in recent games, I mean, it's actually a tight competition. Looking at it, I'm telling you, he had the best month of June of basically anybody in baseball pitching-wise, and he's now taken that into his first start of July. He's back. I'm going back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 consecutive quality starts. He's gone 6 innings in all of them. He went 7 in another, but just look at that run: 2 runs, 1 run, 3 runs, no runs, 1 run, no runs, no run. I mean, he's just unbelievable what Hunter Brown has been able to do. Flip the script on his season. And I've said this before when he's pitched, and I'll say it again, that, you know what? I was at the point where I didn't want to watch him pitch anymore. I mean, look at him. Let's just go start by start real quick for his ERA after each start. 0, 6.43, 16.43, 10.54, 9.68, 9.78, 8.89, 7.79, 7.71, 7.06, 6.39, 6.18, 5.58, 5, 4.72, 4.37, now at 4.07. Unbelievable. I mean, unbelievable what he has done. He's just completely flipped the script, like I said. He almost hit 100 pitches. That's the other thing. He hadn't hit 100 pitches this year. He's not thrown 100 pitches in the game. But his strike percentage in these games, 99 pitches today, 62 strikes. Phenomenal. And you go look at all these starts where he's done that. That's basically what he's done. His strike percentage has gone up and up and up. He gets ahead in counts early. And that's, for pitchers, we know this. if you can't pitch ahead in the count, if you can't get ahead in the count early, it does not matter. You're going to be fighting from behind. And he was a guy that was constantly fighting from behind in counts because he could not come out there and throw strikes. I'd have to pull up his walk numbers I need to look at from last year, because I know that they've come down quite a bit in recent starts. Like I mean, he did have 3 today. He has 2 straight starts actually with 3 walks, so you'd like that to come down a little bit. But I feel like the walk numbers overall are probably a little bit better in terms of the overall. This year he has walked a total of 35 hitters. Oof. I guess it'll pace. He's pacing close to the same as last year. He had 55 last year. But I feel like the second half of the season was probably worse than the first half. He's improved a lot. And it goes back to the arsenal and changing, things up. And yes, like the comment there says from Jam, what can Brown do for you? They need to bring those UPS commercials back. Put Hunter Brown on them. Anybody own a UPS store here in Houston that's watching the show? Get Hunter Brown to be your spokesperson and, do his thing out there, because he's doing his thing for the Astros every single time that he goes out. And where would they be? Honestly, where would they be? They couldn't have gone on this run that they've gone on without him doing this. They couldn't be back above 500 because, they still have guys in this rotation that, first of all, they still have injuries. They have guys that go out there that you just don't know on a lot of days, like Spencer Arrighetti tomorrow. I don't know which guy's going to show up. Is it going to be the guy who can go strike out 10, or is it going to be the guy who gives up, 6 runs in 4 innings and it's done? I don't know. I feel confident about. I know Blanco's coming off of a tough one against the Mets, and I say tough one. Defense didn't help him to an extent, but it was still a tough one. The Thursday starter's Fromber, and it's Fromber. Is it going to be good or is it going to be bad? You never know. Right now with Hunter Brown, when he goes out there, I feel like every time that you hand him the ball, and by the way, Canada Day, I think, isn't today that's like their Independence Day for those of you asking. It's like our 4th of July, I believe, isn't it? It's it's just the National Day of Canada. It's a holiday, so nobody was working today, and then they're going to have the Astros there on the 4th of July, and they won't care because it's not their day. That's our day. We'll be here, by the way, 4th of July for the show. No taking days off for me. I won't be drinking beer by the barbecue pit or anything. I'll just be sitting on my couch watching the Astros and then talking to you guys afterwards. So we'll do that all week. We'll be with you again tomorrow night, of course. The whole road trip. And like I told you yesterday, I'm going to try, I believe, this month of July lines up pretty good for me to where I won't have a single day that I will miss, a single game that I will miss. But there you go. So there's your answer. Tyler says Canada Day is the day the 3 territories united to become one unit under British. Is that Dominion? Okay. Yeah, that's it. That's Canada Day. And I would assume that they all probably slam a maple syrup shot at some point. Is that profiling? I'm sorry. I've never been to Canada. Toronto, they say, is beautiful. Looks beautiful. Love to go one day. Maybe I will. And the ballpark, the updates it looks like they've done, seems like it's a really good experience to go up there. Baseball team, though, it's just crazy to think. It's absolutely crazy. I was actually listening to Robert and Steve. I changed the audio. Sorry to Todd and Jeff Blum. I changed the audio on I watch it on MLB TV. I may or may not use a VPN, but you can change the audio on the broadcast. I listened to Robert and Steve, and they were talking about, this was the era of Toronto baseball that they expected to be contenders and to be, World Series champions basically every year. And it's the Astros that have done that. They have dominated the American League, and they went in there today and they dominated Canada's team on Canada Day, and everything is right in the world. They stay red hot, the Astros. Absolutely red hot, which is good. You don't want to see them for a road trip that started off, it looked like, that Friday night game against the Mets. Didn't love it. How are they going to respond Saturday? They got to win, and then you come storming back like they did that day to get that win. It felt like it's kind of changed the momentum completely to this road trip now. 43-41 on the season. And again, they go tomorrow. Spencer Arrighetti against Jose Barrios. The on-paper matchup says that's a tough one. The Astros have had some success against Barrios in the past, so we'll see exactly what happens. Let's talk about the guys that got the big swing. And when I put my graphics up here, it says Jeremy Pena's big swing. It should have been Jeremy Pena and Yordan Alvarez's big swing because, well, Yordan's happened late after these were already made. So You're not going to change him on the fly there in the ninth inning. But let's talk about the big swings of the bat after giving Hunter Brown his love. We'll do that next here on the Locked On Astros Postcast. PrizePicks. It's America's #1 daily fantasy sports app with over 5 million active members. And if you're not one of them, what are you waiting for? I play PrizePicks. It's fun every day. Pick more or less. You put together lineups. You do it at PrizePicks. You download the app. It's fantastic. It's the easiest and most exciting way, as I mentioned, to play daily fantasy sports. Unlike any other apps on PrizePicks, it's you against the numbers, and that's it. You can win now up to 100 times your money on PrizePicks with as little as 4 correct picks. You can turn $10 into $1,000. With the finals over, the hoop action doesn't have to stop on PrizePicks. Women's basketball is still heating up with stars like Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese looking to make names for themselves alongside greats like Breanna Stewart and Aja Wilson. You could win up to 100 times your cash watching them ball out. Download the PrizePicks app today and use code LOCKEDONMLB for a first deposit match up to $100. Again, that's code LOCKEDONMLB on PrizePicks for a deposit match up to $100. Pick more, pick less. It's that easy. And one more message before we get back to our Astros discussion today. Here on the Locked On Astros Postcast, we pride ourselves on getting you the latest news for your team. Whether it's the offseason, the draft, spring training, or the playoffs, it's year-round. You know what else is year-round? Collections season. Just because tax season is over doesn't mean the IRS will stop coming after you or for your unfiled taxes. The IRS can garnish your wages, levy your bank accounts, and even seize your property. Don't let the IRS target you. Let the licensed professionals at tax experts at Tax Network USA go to bat for you. With over 14 years of experience and an A-plus rating by the Better Business Bureau, Tax Network USA has saved their clients over $1 billion in tax debt. Whether you owe taxes, have complicated matters that require tax planning, or finally hit that parlay this season and need help correctly filing, just call 1-800-549-1000 or visit tnusa.com/lockedon. And be sure to mention Locked On Astros Postcast at checkout, and you'll receive a $250 discount for their services. Locked On Astros Postcast on a Monday evening, early evening. That's right. It's nice. I'm not going to lie. Having a day game on a Monday, I can go to bed, by like 9 o'clock tonight. That way I can get an early workout in tomorrow, and then we can get ready for another night. And it's an earlier start tomorrow night, 6 o'clock, because it's East Coast time. I love it, baby. And I also love when the Astros get some big swings of the bat. And they got that today. Now, look, it wasn't a perfect offensive day by any means. They were very aggressive at the plate. Very, very aggressive. I know that's been a little bit of a talking point for this baseball team of late. They've not walked a lot this season compared to normal years. They don't strike out typically very much. And, they didn't. Actually, they did today. They struck out probably more than their normal rate. They struck out 9 times today, just 2 walks. But, they're facing Rodriguez, a guy who had not had a lot of success this season. I think that was the first time he's had a start that's gone into the 5th inning this year. He didn't pitch last year. They're, trying to figure him out there in Toronto. And that's, you kind of thought that maybe, just maybe, they'd jump on him early today. You went with a B lineup today. You gave Altuve a day off, so you had Bregman leading off, of course. I say B lineup. That's just because you didn't have Altuve in there, and it was just a different lineup today. Trey Cabbage got another start. John Singleton was back in there. It just different. I mean, Jake Myers, he's hit well recently, but Jake Myers hitting second. Like, come on now. We all know. Jeremy Pena hits a big swing. And God, Jeremy Pena needed that too. He's had some better swings lately. He's had some better at-bats lately. I think that he's done a pretty good job of laying off some of the breaking stuff down and away. So, that's a good sign. But the bad sign has been for a guy that is so powerful. And I know that powerful doesn't just come from your physique or everything, but like, you ever been around him, you've seen it. He's jacked. The man is jacked. He has all the power in the world inside of him. And his rookie year, he hit the ball over the fence a lot. He hit the ball over the fence 22 times in the regular season. And then in the postseason, when he hit in the postseason that year, I had to pull up his postseason numbers real quick. It had to be at least another 5, I'd imagine. He had 4. So he hit the ball over the fence that year 26 times. He's hit the ball over the fence 16 times since then. He didn't homer last year in the postseason. 16. And we're talking about, the number of at-bats that's plus the postseason last year. We're talking probably that's over 900. And he's hit 16 home runs after hitting 23 in, about 600 at-bats or 26 or whatever, 600 at-bats in his rookie season. Now, look, I know that pitchers attack different and they get a game plan on you, whatever, but he's got the ability to be a 25 to 30 home run hitter. Some guys, this happens. I was thinking about this the other day. There was a Blue Jay. I don't know if you guys remember him, Alexis Rios, back in the day. It's kind of the same way. He got like all this love, all this praise early on. And I think he hit a bunch of home runs early in his career, and then it just kind of, yeah. Maybe it wasn't the best example, but like he was just a really good player. I mean, a couple of all-star teams, that's what it was. And then it just was like, the rest of his career. Or think about a Nomar Mazara a few years ago with the Texas Rangers, who, was a guy that came on the scene and hit a bunch of home runs. Or Jason Hayward. Jason Hayward was a guy that hit a bunch of home runs this first year, and then it just kind of tapered off and didn't do anything. Like some guys, it just kind of happens that way. I don't know if that's Jeremy Pena. I feel like there should still be more home run in him. Just his 6th of the season today. But it was a big swing to give the Astros the lead. And Hayward was probably my best example. I mean, like he hit 18, 14, then 27, then he was like struggling to hit 10 every year after that. It's just weird. Just one of those weird things. That's the sport of baseball. You could find, you could find something else. And oh my goodness, okay, I'm interrupting the show right now for the live comments. If you guys see that comment made by Luke Young right there, talking about the incredible thumbnail, yes, Luke Young made the graphics that are on the YouTube thumbnail today because I was in the middle of doing something and I had him do it. So thank you to my wonderful nephew, Luke, for knocking it out of the park today on the graphics. We appreciate you, buddy. It's a team effort here on the Locked On Astros Postcast. Now, don't ask me for any money for this episode. I'm keeping it all for myself. You run my electricity bill up way too high. But Jeremy Pena has a big swing. Good to see him have that. Yordan Alvarez also with the big swing there late. And I saw a couple of comments earlier. We wouldn't even be here if Yordan. I know that Josh Hader gave up another home run in the 9th inning. It is what it is. He had a 3-run lead to protect. I try not to get too hot and bothered when you have a 3-run lead to protect and you give up a run. I'll take it. You know what? It's whatever. It happens. It's baseball. It would be nice if Josh Hader would stop, giving up home runs occasionally. I feel like he's given up a few of those recently. He's been a lot better, in the last couple of months. And that's part of the reason why the Astros have kind of started to play better baseball is him closing it down there in the late innings. But, giving up a run there today, he gave up a home run a couple outings ago against Colorado. How many has he given up on the season? He's given up a total of, why don't they have home runs on here? Sometimes MLB.com makes things weird. But he's just got to, stop doing that all the time. Home runs, here we go. He's given up 6 this year. 6! He gave up 3 all of last year with San Diego. So I don't like that. But you go look at all of his other numbers, and that's kind of where I go back to with Josh Hader. Like his batting average against is now below 200. His WHIP is almost back below 1. He's only walked 11 on the year. His strikeouts are 60 and 30 and 37 and 2/3. Like he's dominant still. It's just occasionally you have a blip on the radar. But the Yordan home run obviously helps quite a bit to give you that cushion. I was not going to feel like, and that was a safe situation, Sanjay, that for Hader today. That was a safe situation. It was a 3-0 baseball game. So that was his 13th save of the season today, I believe. It's 13 saves for Josh Hader on the season. And he's only blown 1 save technically. He's 13 out of 14 on the year. So there is that. He just hasn't had a lot of them early in the season based on the way that the Astros played. So that was his spot. They used him in the right spot today, is what it is. Just gives him a run. But thank goodness for Yordan. And Yordan as well, another one of those guys that, this team has really started to turn it on. And you go look at that month of June, and it was Yordan, and it was Kyle Tucker there, for a minute. And it was Alex Bregman doing his thing. Those guys, and Jose Altuve, all three of those guys hit well over 300 in the month of June. They played to the level that you expect them to play at. And the big moments, like we said this a lot this season, early when they were struggling big time. If they were going to turn things around, they were never going to go anywhere unless their big boys step up and do something. Simple as that. And that has happened once Bregman figured it out, once Yordan got out of the only massive slump we've ever seen him in, and Altuve got past his funk that he had in the month of May. And everything is right now again in the morning. And it's helped that Yainer Diaz has gotten hot as well. You got rid of the anchor that was Jose Abreu, and you're playing more competent people at first base, so you're not getting a negative number out of first base every single day. Just a lot of positives based on what they've gone, and they get a big swing out of Yordan today. Let's talk about winning like this today, the importance of it, what it means. Is it a sign of even better things to come for this baseball team? And we'll do that, and we'll preview tomorrow's ball game in just a couple of moments here in the Locked On Astros Postcast. I love sports. You love sports, and we all love them so much that we never want them to stop. And, well, you don't make them stop when you're with FanDuel. But as the playoffs, of course, have finally winded down and ended in the NBA, and they're into full-on off-season mode, we get fewer games in the sports. Well, that aren't sportsing like we all want them to. But FanDuel lets me keep the sports going whenever I want. All I have to do is open the app and dream up bets at any time I'm in the mood. And this summer, FanDuel is hooking up all customers with a boost or a bonus daily. That's right. There's something for everyone every day, all summer long. And look, there's tennis going on right now. Wimbledon starting. Come on now. You can get in on that action. Head over to FanDuel.com/LockedOn and start making the most out of your summer. FanDuel, official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. Locked On Astros Postcast continues here on a Monday evening. Thank you for joining us. So again, this is like 4 or 5 days in a row that we've had a lot of you guys here during the show, and I appreciate you guys have been here all season, but the numbers keep going up and up and up, and it's because of you, and I appreciate it. Thanks for stopping by. If you're new to the channel, please come back, and you can do that by hitting the subscribe button right now. We are closing in day by day closer to 1,200 subscribers on the channel. And I am greatly appreciative of us having that number here. And, let's keep going. I said it yesterday. I'm shooting for Mr. Beast numbers. I don't know what his numbers are. I don't watch his videos that nephews do. But why not? I don't know what we're going to have to do. We're going to start giving away money or something on this show. But maybe we'll do that. Who knows? You never know. We get that big, we'll have money coming in, and we'll just start giving it away. So keep hitting the subscribe button here on the Locked On Astros Postcast. But today for the Stros, winning a baseball game like this, think about early in the season when they struggled so mightily to win games consistently at all. They didn't happen. But think about how bad they were in situations like today's game, tight baseball games. They just could not find a way to get wins in any of them. They'd find a way to screw it up. They'd find a way to just, something went wrong. I mean, look at it today. And I know this wasn't a one-run game, but for a long period of time it was. I mean, in one-run games this season, they're 5-14. Part of that is bad luck. Like, remember a few years ago, the Mariners were, hanging around, and it was mainly because you went back and looked at, they were like this insane record in one-run baseball games, stuff that just defies logic. It's just, it's a massive, it's one of those elements of luck that is unpredictable in this sport, that you can, lose games 1-0 or, win 1-0 constantly. But the Astros this season have been so bad in these tight baseball games. And I think that these are the signs of them actually being, for those of you that might still be on the fence, and I know that there's still people that are out there on the fence, but these are the signs that they're starting to actually figure it out. Because when you're a good baseball team, when you play games like you played today, which is a tight baseball game all the way to the end, you didn't get a 3-run cushion until the 9th inning. You don't win these baseball games, though, unless you're doing all the little things and you're doing them right. And they did that. Good defense, good pitching, situational hitting when they needed it, which the situational hitting today was hitting the ball over the fence once and then one more time late. But recently, situational hit, like yesterday in New York. I think about that, the extra innings. I mean, they could have packed it in yesterday. They could have. They blew a lead late with Brian Abreu, which, again, today, Brian Abreu comes in. And there's a couple people that hit the comments yesterday when I said what I said about Brian Abreu. If you are telling me Brian Abreu makes you comfortable at all, you're lying to yourself. Stop reading the numbers. Stop reading the box scores. Oh, he doesn't give up runs. He's got a 2.90 ERA. Okay. I need high leverage relievers that come in and don't put guys on base constantly, because eventually you keep playing that game of constantly putting guys on base, like that 1-run lead thing. The element of luck falls into place for the other team, and they smack one and it goes over the fence, or they smack one off the wall and 2-run score. Like, that's not comforting. And he does that every single time that he's out there. And it's maddening to me because he's better than that. And we've watched him be better than that. Could just be one of those years where, look, his stuff isn't as good. It's not as sharp. It doesn't deceive hitters the same way. His mechanics are off. You could see his mechanics aren't great. He gets so far out in front to where his arm can't catch up. His body's too fast. And that's part of the problem for him this season. So Brian Abreu is over here. He's not got me confident one bit in his ability to keep my stress levels down when he's out there on the mound at any point this season. But, again, got the job done today like everybody else did, and they got a victory in a way that they have to get a victory. You have to win like this consistently. And when you win like this consistently, it manifests so many good things. And we're seeing the results of it right now with why they're winning at the level that they're winning. And it's, it's making me truly believe again. And, I go through my cycles every year. My wife will be the first person to tell you that there's like the 5 or 6 different cycles of Michael during baseball season with the Astros. And I'd always do them, and they were always good, but I'd always still go through them where I'm like, they're not very good this year. They're not going to make it. This year was like, okay, they're actually not going to make it. This is if there was any year for it to go through my cycles, this is the year for it. And now my cycle has pushed me to the point where I say, you know what? They're back. They're winning how I want to see them win. What makes me feel confident in them. They're winning, in my opinion, they're winning how the Astros win. And it's a beautiful thing when it's right. And right now, all is right. Let's hope that tomorrow they come back out. All is right again. They'll do their thing. They get an easy win. They'll be 3 games over 500. Maybe the Mariners can come out and lose a game or 2 this week. I need to look and see who they're even playing this week. Light schedule in baseball tonight. There's only 2 other games tonight because they want to ensure that everybody's playing on 4th of July. The Mariners will start a series tomorrow. Oh, yeah. Against the Baltimore Orioles at home. Go, Baltimore, go. Mike Elias and your crew take it to Seattle. Astros back in first by the end of the week? Is it possible? I didn't think they'd be back above 500 this fast. Here they are, ahead of the All-Star break, above 500. Have a little bit of a cushion now. Need to keep building that cushion. They do that tomorrow. Don't forget, again, if you're new to the channel, to please join us again tomorrow after the baseball game. Hit the subscribe button. You'll get the notifications for when we go live and everything else. I really appreciate you guys, of course, stopping by and saying hello and watching the show. And, again, we'll do it again tomorrow night, win or lose. Hopefully win. Jose Barrios for Toronto, Spencer Arrighetti for the Astros. Good times to be had. We're just going to go out with positive vibes on that. Enjoy the rest of your Monday evening. We'll talk tomorrow night after Astros and Blue Jays right here on the Locked On Astros Postcast.